So the meatball sandwich that I'm making today actually won't have any meatballs. I have a few reasons for that. I'll get more into that later, but first I'm going to make the sauce. So I'm going to go in with a good amount of butter and tomato paste. That was about a tablespoon of tomato paste and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter, probably 3. And then this is a full can of petite diced tomatoes. This will be going on medium to medium low for maybe like 20 to 25 minutes. 3 full cloves of garlic, we'll fish those out eventually, and then half of this onion. I will fish that out later. About a tablespoon or 2 of these oregano leaves, and then this will reduce a little bit, so I'll taste and add salt later to see if it needs any more salt, but this will be our sauce for our meatball sandwich. The tomato sauce has reduced down significantly. I'm gonna set this aside until we're ready to assemble. When we're ready to assemble, I can remove the garlic cloves and the onion as well, but you can see this thickened up. Okay, it's time to mix up the meat. I'm gonna start with an egg. Okay, and then I have a pound of 80-20 ground beef, also a pound of 80-20 ground pork. This is garlic powder, half tablespoon, onion powder, half tablespoon, any type of dried herbs you want. I'm just using, this is like a mixed herb blend. Some panko, I might add more, and then a lot of grated parm. Okay, the parm is all in. I'm going in with just a little bit of cayenne and some salt. And I will be microwaving a little bit of this to taste test after I mix all this. So there's 2 main reasons I'm not using meatballs for this sandwich. I'm making more of a meat log. The first reason is when you put meatballs on a sandwich, you end up with space between the balls, so you have a few empty bites. So you can combat this by maybe turning the meatball sub into sliders like Sam the cooking guy does, which I'll show you now.
Oh shit, how's this gonna even work?
And the second issue with using meatballs is if you make like a large batch of meatballs, to get the browned crust in the pan, you have to end up flipping each of them twice, because you want at least 3 browned sides. So if you have a large quantity of meatballs, that's actually a lot of time spent just flipping each one. So I want it to be slightly bigger than this bread I'm using. The meat mixture will shrink a little bit in the pan, so I can use that as my guideline of how big I want my meat slab or plank or log to look. And just kind of forming it into a rectangle. Okay, if I hold this up to the bread, it's very similar size. The meat is a little bit bigger, but it will shrink, release some moisture, some water. So I think it should be all good. I think this is the size I'm going for. I might make another one and do 2 at the same time. I'm just gonna add some olive oil and then go in with both of our planks. Alright, and I'm gonna let these crust up on the bottom, get a nice Maillard reaction on the bottom, nice browning, and then flip them. This way on our sandwich there will be no sliding around of meatballs, no displacement of meatballs. While the meat is going, I'm just going to chop up some basil to add to the sauce. Adding this towards the end so that it stays fresh. I think these are starting to get browned. I'm going to flip them, take a look. Alright, that's good browning. I'll let them go a little bit longer on the next side and get even more browning, and then we'll finish them in the sauce and then add it to our bread and do a few more things before we eat. Okay, so these are looking good on both sides. When I poke them, they still have a lot of give, so I know they still have some way to go. So I'll let them finish cooking in the sauce. I'm going to add some whole milk mozzarella while it's still in the pot with the red sauce. Some people put it under the broiler, but this will definitely melt just while simmering away with the tomato sauce. So yeah, this is whole milk mozzarella, not low fat. Okay, the mozzarella has melted. We're going to carefully transfer and yeah, you can see it's the perfect length. I'm just gonna spoon on some additional sauce. I definitely want some more parmesan. And I'm gonna go with a few banana peppers. Add a little bit of acid to this. Okay, so what we solved by doing it this way was we avoided having to flip all those meatballs over and over and over again in the pan, and we also avoided any kind of moving around of different meatballs within the sandwich. This is all one mass. You know, it's not going to move around when I bite it. It might move backwards, but a whole meatball is not going to fall off, you know. I made it a little bit too big, but next time I'll make a better size. All right, here we go. You can see the meat, it's fully cooked. Alright, and that's how I do my meat log sandwich. For the meat mixture, you can definitely put your own spin on it. I didn't use milk, I just didn't have milk. Some people add milk to their breadcrumbs when they add it to the meat mixture. You can definitely do that. You can do the tomato sauce however you want. But my main takeaway was the shape and size. You see how nothing moved around. I have good distribution of the meat all across the sandwich. Alright, thanks.